Many people say they don't have time to sit down and figure out a spending plan, or some people say budget. Either way, it's totally fine. Or have a minute or two to look back at their prior month's bills and see where the money has gone, and what can we do in the future. And many people say the same thing. They don't have enough time. Hi, I'm Jan. Welcome to the Save Money and More with Jan channel. How you doing today? And let's play a little bit of a happy sound. I'll be right back. Thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate and value your time, okay? Because time is a very precious commodity. Once you lose it, you don't get it back. All right, so I noticed earlier today, I had on the news in the background. I asked myself, well, Janet, what are you doing with the news on? Well, of course, I have to stay current, especially when I do stories like this. I like to keep abreast of, let's say, financial trends and things of that nature or whatever. But then you notice inevitably in between waiting for those, updates or whatever, comes on certain aspects of the news. And I sat there earlier scratching my head saying, what a waste of time. I mean, some of the stuff that was coming up is that came up rather, I consider that fluffery, like literally fluffery. So let's say that a person really has like a good intention to do this, that, and the other thing in a positive direction. And then they say, listen, I want to listen to the news first, whatever. They put that on the background, and too much time has gone by because they'll stretch it out. Like they'll do this, that, and then it's just a waste of time at times. That's all I'm saying for me. So I said, I don't like to waste time. How about you? Are you a timekeeper or a time saver? I think time is so precious. We have to do everything we can to really appreciate it in just so many ways, shape, manner, or form. But what bothers me personally is when a person says, "Well, I'd like to clean out my closet, but I really don't have the time." Now, this is just an example. I think it's important that every single one of us, all of us, examine our schedule at some point or another and ask ourselves, well, are we wasting our time? It's sort of like managing money. Are we wasting our money? Is the money leaking out of our wallet for some reason or another? What are we doing, etc.? But the same thing goes for time. Okay. So a lot of people say, nah, I just don't have the time. You know what? We have to make the time. We have to analyze what we do, especially as people are getting older. So instead of putting it off and putting it off, try to take a little bit of time today, even if it's 10 or 15 minutes. What I really think goes on with a lot of people is that people just do things with dread. They like, it's going to be awful. They mull over the item, even if it's, let's go back to the idea of cleaning a closet or organizing a drawer, or cleaning the tabletop off that has a lot of clutter on it. A lot of times I think people angst over it so much that, for example, they may be spending more time angsting over the thing than actually tackling the issue, for example, and getting the job done. Know what I like to do whenever there's something that I'm like, not in the mood of doing? Put on my favorite music, the kind of music that always puts a smile on my face, or good memories somehow or another. It changes the whole complexity. You see where I'm going with this? Like, listen to some upbeat music that you like, or if you prefer, more of a relaxing music, whatever it is that you enjoy listening to, that puts a smile on your face and in your heart. Put that on the background and make things a little more pleasant. It's like, so you're hearing like your favorite music, right? Then all of a sudden you get your workspace taken care of. And we spend more time at times angsting over the thing that we could have been doing. And then if we actually looked at the clock from the beginning to the end, we may be shocked and happily amazed. For example, that that thing that we dreaded so much only took like 10 or 15 minutes. I kid you not. Then sometimes it feels so good to just take care of that matter that maybe the next day or even the same day go back to it and do a little bit more in a positive direction. So it all depends on things. Sitting around and wasting our time, or for example, let's say we're on a phone call, we want to remain very polite to our friends, neighbors, or relatives. And sometimes you're hearing the same story over and over. Like the person already made the point, and then they jump back to the story. Meantime, could have been doing something else. Now, some people are really, really good at multitasking, like, speaking on the phone, speaking to someone else, doing this, that, and the other thing. It is amazing that they could get so many things done. I'm kind of more like, I have to like focus type thing. So it all depends on the individual. Where do you stand with that? What do you consider a time waster as far as, like, let's say, as far as your daily schedule? Is it something you read? Is it something you hear? What is a time waster? And what is something that maybe we could spend a little more time doing, for example? See what happens with that. Well, thank you so much for being here. And I really do appreciate, like I said earlier, your time. But don't forget to do the following. And never, never, ever, ever give up on this. If there is anything that I certainly would love to emphasize about time and the value of it, time is money. Time is money. What we could be doing instead of sitting around listening to repetitive stories that really make no difference either way, we have to learn how to manage our time. Now, honestly, I already know already, and Dawn from Sensible Living with Money Mom and I, we have often goofed about how time management type videos never ever do well, but I don't care. They're still important. And if one or two people listening to this video get something out of it, in my opinion, that was definitely never ever, nor would it be a waste of my time. So I do value to talk about time management. Remember, when you lose time, you never get it back. When you lose money, it's replaceable. Money's replaceable. People are not, and neither is time. So we have to spend our time wisely. Again, I thank you so much for being here. Have an amazing, fantastic day. Let's get a little happiness here. Have an amazing, fantastic day. Take good care of yourself and your wonderful family.